It's little scalpel out, baby. Let's fucking go. Back again. Daily review. Let's get to it. You already know. Consistency. All right, y'all. Here's the update for the day. It was a really good day, man. I had to go through a little bit of adversity today. You know what I mean? Um, I've been having a lot of courage to like talk about this prop firm that I'm doing and kind of like my changes. And I'm trying to learn how to do that because, man, back in the day when I used to talk about this shit, just with my close ones, and talk about what I'm doing, bro. The next day I feel like I would just get fucking shit on, and I just trade emotionally. But I'm like, nah, man, I got to get over that shit. I got to be able to talk about this and still show up the next day and be disciplined. And this morning did start off a little bit rough, but I was able to stay disciplined, and I didn't revenge trade or anything like that, but I ended up missing a trade. I hesitated a little bit, but we're going to go over all that again because the whole point of this is that we're going to learn and get better every single day, and that's all that matters, guys. I made another push towards my goal here, up about 140 bucks on the day. Again, not too focused on the number. This is just how it happened. And I honestly, it could have been a small red day, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. But something came up at the open, and it just it played out really well. And I mean, guys, you could just see like my last 10 or so trades. I have good statistics, and it's something I need to lean on. You know what I mean? When in doubt, I need to look back. Sometimes on these statistics, and see that what I'm doing over a long period of time is working. As you see, my total net profit on this account in just a little under 2 weeks is about 700 bucks, man. And I think I'm doing good, man. You know what I mean? But I'm staying focused on my setup, and that's the key, man. I'm using my repeatable setup, and I'm staying focused, and I'm being patient for that. Just a lot of things that I've really flipped the script on since I started this. But guys, let's get into the trades. You already know. First trade was on THAR from earlier this morning. Of course, that's what we traded yesterday. It was still up from this morning. As you can see, I was kind of mapping it out. Again, had a pretty nice, pretty clear downtrend from after hours going into pre-market this morning, and I kind of wanted to see it start breaking out of this. We were coming into 7 a.m., so that 7 a.m. volume was about to come in, etc., etc. So that's kind of the reasoning that I took this trade in the first place. As you can see, I've showed a couple examples where we have like a very clear downtrend and we start breaking out, and then I look for that very next pullback for a move higher, and that was the setup here. So let's kind of see how this played out. So yeah, you can see that we broke out of that downtrend, and now we're starting to set up a little 5-minute flag here. The volume on this wasn't crazy, but I thought just of how much momentum it had from yesterday, I'm like, you know what, this thing maybe it'll give us at least one more good move. I wasn't looking for anything crazy. Again, I'm just looking for my simple setup, which is grabbing this 5-minute pullback right here and really looking for just the top of the flagpole and maybe a little bit of a push through if I get a nice squeeze through that level to make a little bit more. But you know what I mean? I keep my setups pretty freaking simple so I can just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. As you can see, I'm plotting it down. I'm getting ready. So I'm waiting for that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. As you can see, we haven't got it yet, and we're pulling back a little bit deeper here. But as you can see, we finally did test the 5-minute A right here, kind of put in a nice wick, and now we're on a fresh candle right here. And this is where I got ready to take my trade. So I was really looking for this thing kind of jumped a few cents here, so I didn't get like the best average, but I was really I was watching here. Of course, if I am going to take an entry, my risk would be the low of this pullback right here at 536. I couldn't tell you the exact entry right here, but let's just see. I had my finger on the trigger. I think it was maybe like 543s or 546 or something like that. Once I start seeing that come in on the tape, that I know that that's that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. And that's how I like to take my entries. But as you can see, it kind of skipped right there. Just skipped over a little bit. So I ended up with a little bit of a higher average, but nothing too crazy. And I took some pretty good size on this. So you can see my entry was about 548. Risk would have been 535, breaking the low of this pullback. So yeah, I was only risking a little bit over 10 cents a share. I definitely probably could have took some more size on this thing. But for the first trade of the day, it was fine. As you can see, we started to get that push. I was really looking for this, I was really just looking for it to go, man, to be honest with you. We're coming into 7 a.m., so I want to see that 7 a.m. open and just the volume increase. I wanted to see this rip right through this level, and that's kind of like my thought process. Is you can see we were trying. And this was a pretty nice looking push candle. I'm like, okay, I want to see this first 5-minute candle to make a new high right here, and then ultimately break the highs of the flagpole. And that would have been a good way to start the morning. Let me see what we got here. Okay, yeah, so yeah, look at this. It's put in, so moved away from my average, set up a 1-minute flag over VWAP. Now we are on a new 5-minute candle. So now I want to see this level break, then the next, you know what I mean? That first 5-minute candle to make a new high. There we go. We're starting to push a little bit, gets a little push. I don't even think I got any off on here, man. I don't know. I think I eventually took some off the table because, yeah, it was starting to get a little wicky here. I really just wanted to see this rip through, man. I had another level at like 575s. But you can see we're trying to break. We're trying to really push through. This should have went right here. And once I seen it hesitating, so I went ahead and took half off right there just to secure some gains. Nothing crazy, up over about 10 cents a share, but still a pretty good base hit opportunity here. And once I seen that thing like flip red, and then I stopped out of the rest. Yeah, that was a big rejection right there. Once I seen that, I was like, so I'm pretty sure this trade didn't even count for me because I didn't even end up making 10 cents a share of profit on it. Yeah, so that was pretty much a flat trade. Yeah, it didn't even count, so I was just break even on that. And that was that. Left it alone after that. It started to pull back. And then we had EVOK, which would have been my next trade right here. This had some sort of breaking news on it. It was a low float. It kind of checked the boxes. I ended up taking a loss on this one. And unfortunately, as I was trading this one, there was another name that was going, and I ended up missing what would have been a pretty good trade, man. Oh, God. Missed it. It's all good. I had an opportunity to get in, but we'll see. So yeah, this was putting in a nice deep pullback. I definitely thought it was worth the shot. It definitely was a bigger pullback here, but if this thing would have went, our first target would have been like maybe a retest of VWAP, and then we could try to break this this next 5-minute candle. Well, this candle's about to close, so it really would have been the first 5-minute candle to make a new high would have been right here, but that was kind of close. So I think I just what would have made sense is maybe a test of VWAP. I could have took half, and then if it really wanted to get nutty, that $9 flagpole right there. As you can see, we got that dip right there. First 1-minute candle to make a new high, guys. I took an entry, man. Just sticking to my setup. I think it tried to make a little move here. No, actually, so yeah, I stopped out pretty quick. Yeah, this actually it didn't work. That's okay, guys. That's okay. Only had about 200 shares, but still with the range, a little decent risk on here. What's happening? Now here I was very glued on this level because $7 flat would have been my stop out. As you can see, I was giving it a chance to hold here, but we broke that level, and I stopped right out, like I should have. Because once that level breaks, I don't know where it's going, man. That's the big key right here. If we break this low that I used as a risk off, I don't fucking know where that shit's going next, man. It could come down to it's definitely gonna come test the 5-minute 8. Now, depending on how far away from that is from the current price, I don't freaking know. But I used to hold through that. I used to hold, and I'd be like, okay, it's gonna tap the 5-minute 8 now. Let me hold. But man, it makes you trade emotionally, and you just take so many cuts, guys. So when it breaks that low and it looks like it wants to go lower, I just cut it. I let it see what it's gonna do. Maybe it will show some strength and a nice hold or something like that, and maybe I could take another try. But once that thing breaks, guys, I'm out of there. I'm out. As you can see, I cut it instantly. Could it hold here in reverse and freaking leave without me? 100%. It could. That sucks, but most times this protects me. So I'm gonna keep doing that. And I think that's why I've been successful in this prop firm so far, is that I have not slipped on this, man. I'm telling you, this is my number one fucking priority, is to cut this trade when I say that I'm gonna cut it. Because I don't do anything, man. If it's gonna be a winner, what do? You don't do anything. It just goes, man. You know what I mean? We can't control that, but you can control this, and that's what I've been doing. So yeah, ultimately, I took a loss on this, and man, this was APM, which turned out to be a really good runner for the day. As you can see, it had nice volume. This would have been a better play, um, but unfortunately, I tried my setup on EVOK and it just didn't work. And I had this in front of me, um, and I didn't have much time to act. As you can see, it kind of put in a little dip right here. We're pretty extended off the 5-minute 8. We didn't even really tap the 1-minute 20. So when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, maybe we're gonna keep pulling back. But I didn't have much time to decide. Um, as you can see, we put in the dip right here. I did mark out the line, but here's the first. This is like the very first pullback. So you can see it moved, it pulled back, but this is, you can't really trade that, low riskly, if I guess you could say. Well, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but I saw this in front of me and I was like, you know what, this is a good place to take an entry. I just didn't, man. I literally just came off of that other loss, and I felt like if I would just jumped right in this one, that it would almost have been like a revenge trade. But I liked this setup, and I should have took the trade, man. I should have took it. Because it was valid. It's not like I was getting into like a low quality setup. Like, this is a higher quality setup. It's that first pullback. Yeah, it didn't pull back all the way to the 1-minute 20, but it did break that. It did break the 1-minute 8 right here. Put in a deeper dip. You know what I mean? And this was worth a shot to squeeze for that 212s level. And I didn't touch it, man. I didn't take an entry on it, and ultimately, what do you know? Rips right through the new highs. Damn. Missed that one, man. Missed that one. It's all good. It's all good. I accepted it, and I just tried my best to move on, man. You know what I mean? There's always another one, and of course, as you see, there is, but still, I'm trying to get myself out of that hesitant habit, and I think if I would have just not focused, I mean, obviously, now that I'm going over it, I can tell you what I shouldn't have done, but if I had these two side by side, EVOK and this one was probably the higher quality one. But hey, man, you just never know. This one could shit the bed, and EVOK could have been the one that ripped. But again, I just didn't take this one because I don't think I just had enough time to look at it. I just pulled it up, and if I just would have jumped right in, I don't know. But ultimately, you see, this one was a good opportunity. Did I trade this one? I don't know. Maybe I did. Okay, I did. I ended up taking a okay. So I missed this first setup, which was the very first pullback. That was a good play, but I ended up trading. Let's see. As you can see, it put in a pretty much like a, this is more like a 1-minute pullback, but it was a 5-minute 3-bar. That was nice. I didn't take that. Okay, so now we're really pulling back on the 5. So you see, we were pretty extended, holding the VWAP right here. We haven't even came down to test the 5-minute 8 yet. And I thought that this setup was worth a shot because it gave a nice pullback right here. It gave a nice deeper pullback. My target was very clear. My risk off was very clear. So we came and tapped VWAP right here. Now we're getting closer to the 5-minute 8. And guys, I told myself I missed that other trade. If it gives me my setup, I'm going to take the trade. And that's exactly what I did here. Here's the first 1-minute candle to make a new high. Risk at the low of this pullback, and you have VWAP right there, which is nice. So my risk on this would have been 210. Went ahead and got in with 500 shares, risking about $50, nothing crazy. And let's just cut to the chase. You can see this is put in a nice 5-minute wick right here. And if that candle stayed closed, like a big hammer right there, I'm expecting when that next 5-minute candle opens that I want to see it squeeze through the new highs. So here's that next 5-minute candle. Again, very clear risk right here. Don't want to see it come down and break this, at least while I'm in it. Kind of holding up right here. There we go. So yeah, this is that. We want to see this be that push candle. We want to see it break the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, test the high of this candle, and ultimately break through the new highs. I wanted to see that go. So if this started to pull back and kind of like break this 1-minute flag, I would have been like, yeah, I probably would have gotten defense mode and looked to stop out if I had to. But here's that first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Boom, buyers are stepping up through it. A lot of green coming in on the tape, looking good. I took some profits right here. I probably should have just took it all off. We were good. We had like 240s come in on the bid right there. But as you can see, there was a lot of resistance up at this level. I was kind of holding on a little bit more. And it kind of hung around up there. It started to set up a 1-minute flag. I was still holding mine. Kind of wish I just would have got all out up there. I know it's kind of like a scalper's mindset. But guys, I set a freaking target, man. When it hits my target, I get out. Again, keeping my execution systematic. Yes, it's probably going to go way past my target sometimes, and that's fine, man. You're not going to catch all the moves, but this could also fucking shit the bed right here. And then I still have 300 shares, and if it comes down to break even, this might not even be a trade that counts because I didn't get my 10 cents a share. So, you know, especially in this prop firm eval right now, you know, I got to play things a little bit differently. And once it was hanging around 230s, this was a nice 1-minute flag, but yeah, ultimately I think it pushed through that level, made new highs. But you know, I got my win, and that was it. All right, and then we have PTIX. That's the last one we're gonna go over. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a different video because I traded this on my laptop. Let's see. Uh-oh, not there. Yeah, so PTIX was an amazing trade for the day. Let me close this out. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. Lord have mercy. Okay. So let's pull up PTIX right now. See what that thing gave us. Okay. Yeah, so this was a good play in pre-market. I missed all of it in pre-market. I was a little busier, had to get ready for work, all that bullshit. But this was that very first pop, 8 a.m. news. Very nice first pullback right here. As you can see, that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. Boom, could have traded that. Risking the low of this pullback. And even this one right here, this was a pretty good pullback right here. But after that, it kind of just faded into the open. And then we ripped through pre-market highs right here at the open, and this is what got me interested. Now, this was a little bit of a choppier flag, but I ended up taking a trade on this. But dude, I meant to take just 100 shares because this was like a really it was that very first pullback. It didn't really give me like a clear first 1-minute candle to make a new high. It did, but the risk to reward was a little tighter, so I just took 100 shares, you know, nothing crazy. And I look back, I only had one fucking share. So that trade didn't even fucking count. It was whatever, man. Long story short, I didn't realize I meant to hit 100. I only took one fucking share, so I'm sitting in there like fucking whatever. Anyways, yeah, so that was a really good first 1-minute flag. I definitely could have took some more size on that. It was actually a 5-minute setup, so I was just waiting for that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. But in this situation, it put a nice little dip in. I could have tried to just like, you know, add these dips right here and kind of anticipate it, but you know, I usually like waiting for that clear 1-minute candle. Like this was the flag that I really nailed. And let's just go ahead and jump into that recording real quick, and that'll be it for the day, guys. Let's see. Yep, right at 9:40. Uh-oh, we got to download it. Give me a hot second here. I love this shit, guys. I fucking love this shit, man. I love this shit. I love doing these reviews every day. I'm telling you, man, you gotta review your shit. You learn so much, it's not even funny, man. I'm telling you, you review this stuff every day in like this kind of manner. Like I used to like do journals and stuff like that. I don't know. It's not the same for me. Me sitting down here, looking over at least just a simple recording, kind of talking through like what I was thinking and like how I could have done things differently. That's the creativity that creates Pretty much like your good habits, you know what I mean? I seen like, oh, I fucked up on this, so tomorrow, I might try this. I try not to change too many things too soon because you don't want to freaking change everything as you trade. That's kind of like amateur, you know what I mean? You want to take like a series of trades, and pick out some things from 20 trade blocks because one trade doesn't really mean anything in the big picture, but still just doing these daily reviews, I'm kind of just like soaking all this in, and I'm telling you, man, it makes such a big difference in my trading, and it builds confidence that I can come back here and just go over everything. And yeah, I'm really just talking shit, man, until this freaking thing downloads. Unprepared. Just skip through this part. Or you can just make fun of my blue light glasses, either or. Alright, here we go. Guys, this was a freaking banger of... Okay, so here's that 1 minute... Oh my god. The one that I had one share. How did I have one share? I must have switched something. I don't know what happened here. Because you seen I had 100 here. I must have clicked something. When did that go to 1? Like, what? Oh, it reset. Okay. So when I clicked out of it, it reset. So I had 100 on there, but it reset. Wow. Okay. I should have been paying more attention, but... As you can see, I was late to this party, but I seen that it was... Oh, okay. Let's go back. Right here. I was late, but once I seen this thing trying to make that push, I went ahead and just slapped a little entry right here. Nothing too crazy. Ended up breaking through right here. That was a good play. Unfortunately, I just wasn't able to capitalize on it because I didn't have any size in there. But anyways, guys, when this thing started to pull back again, and it started to set up a nice, beautiful 5-minute flag, I was all over it, man. Here we go. We're starting to pull back again on the 5-minute right here. And now here's my setup. Coming into the 1 minute 20. I was getting ready right here. Here's my risk off, guys. Tested the 1 minute 20. Put in a nice green candle. Guys, I'm looking for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high. And I will risk the low of that pullback. Worst case, it'll stop me out. I'll take my loss, and I can look for, maybe another trade. Try it again and see if we can get that move. And I'll make all my fucking money back anyways. But I think I tested the water here first. Alright, so this is live. This thing was a banger, man. I went ahead, tested the waters right there, and I just ended up sizing in a little bit relative to my account, whatever. 300 shares on this thing. And I went ahead and I was going to put my stop in. I mean, you can kind of see like how many times I'm fucking with this shit over here, but I'm making sure. First thing, I'm putting my stop in, man. I'm putting in my protection. As you can see, I put a stop for 464. If it breaks the low of that candle, I'll stop out. But guys, you see we're trying to make a good push here. So I was getting ready to take some profits off the table. Obvious first and only target for me would have been 520s, breaking that new high a day. As you can see, I already had that downtrend drawn out there, so we want to see a breakthrough here. Little pullback right there off the downtrend, but now we're really starting to push through. Guys, this thing was a little choppy. I was like, okay. Still holding a full position here. Ooh, almost got close to guys. I almost got stopped out right there. That was a close one. But it would have been fine, man. If I got stopped out, I got stopped out. But buyers stepped up right above this low right here. Some bidders came in right there. Yeah, this thing was super choppy though, man. I thought it was just gonna wake me out at one point, but I was holding strong. I was sticking to the setup. And guys, you can see this is that 5-minute flag setup, consolidating in this downtrend format. Nice 5-minute flag, guys. I wanted to see this thing break out. And I've seen this a million times. Like, yeah, this price action is tough to mentally sit there through, but you got to just play your setup, man. You know what I mean? I know that I already got to stop here. Just let the trade play out. You know what I mean? So now we're trying to push through a brand new 5-minute candle. That's important, guys. Remember the timing. The timing. I wanted to see this be that 5-minute push candle. If it came down and kind of broke the low of this, it would kind of like ruin the flag look. So once this thing started pushing, I'm like, okay, I want to see it go on this 5-minute candle right here. I want to break the 5-minute candle to make a new high here and ultimately break through the highs there. Still getting wicks at that downtrend. Now we're trying to break out of it right here. Here we go. That's what's up right there. Let's fucking go, baby. I'm ready to take profits here. As soon as it's making that push, I just go ahead and take my stop out. Here we go. We got that squeeze up there. Just took it all, man. I got my goal, and that's it. You know what I mean? That was a banger. Pretty good trade for me. Yeah, that's it, man. Pretty good trades again. Tomorrow, Friday, last day of the week. I'm gonna try and just close it out strong. Just do what I do. Trade my setup, be disciplined, and guys, that's all I can do, man. Anyways, we'll see you later. Peace.